Tai Chi. And so when you're at that level of meditation and you are engaging non-violently in martial arts practice, it's like you're fusing together that body, mind, spirit connection. And it's a spiritual thing. And there's going to be some serious threats to this country in the next 10 years. I predict between the 2021 and 2025 timeline, the peak of sunspot cycle 25. Not that we're not going to go through things in the next decade, but I see things ramping up, and I see things in a cyclical manner in terms of epochs. And what I've noticed about my fellow brothers and sisters here in the United States, whether they be in the conspiracy research community or whether they be associated with something that more or less could be described as New Age or the Ascension movement, is this linear worldview of beginning-end. We're either all going to ascend over here, or we're all going to be depopulated over here in this other potential timeline or reality. Very extremes. And both of these extreme worldviews seems to discount the reality that we're going through cycles that in a big way are impacted A, by the sun, but B, by the other planetary influences that in a huge way impact the intensity of these solar cycles. Burl Payne, burlpaynebooks.com, has a book called Planetary Alignments, on planetary alignments, available on Amazon, and talks about the influence that certain planets bring when they align up with the sun or come near the sun. A lot of us know about Mars and the war energy that Mars brings. And there was a certain alignment that Mars had with either the Earth or the Sun, something of that nature, that I remember hearing about in 2003. 2003, the same year what started? That's right. The illegal, immoral, what some could call racist. The beginning of the pillaging, burning, and raping of the people of Iraq, after they already got started on the people of Afghanistan, people that don't really have a voice. And so it's important to understand that this is real. This is not a theory. There's been a lot of evidence that has been presented over the years on the internet, many scientific studies that you can read. It's just a matter of whether one has the interest, the time, the patience, but most of all, an open mind that's willing to receive new information, even if it conflicts with what they really want to believe. Because I hear this a lot, oh, that doesn't vibe with my information. A lot of people are working with some serious polluted pieces of information. But going back to cycles, if we can understand that it's a cycle, and there's ways that we can prepare beyond the whole off-the-grid preparedness aspect. By the way, I'm noticing that it's starting to get, there's a lot of energy that's coming in this valley right now. A lot of wind. It's going to snow tonight, and right now no firewood, and my butane stove doesn't work very well. Excuse me, propane heater, space heater. But all that does, along with the energy that I've been feeling lately from the solar flares, is encourage me to treat my body right, to look at my own nutrition, to return to examining where my exercise plan is, how much time I'm taking for meditation, how much time I'm taking to clarify the information that's up here that often is difficult for me to put into words. I know that sounds weird to some of you that have been seeing me speak all these years, but I mean, there was a certain energy that my body really responded to in Portland, especially when you're live. And out here, even though I'm not making as much videos, at times it can be difficult to focus. But I feel like for me, being out here is a part of a larger training scenario to develop that clarity, develop that peace of mind to be somewhere and not have external stimuli, but also to deal with people that are in this environment that are very wicked on a soul level. And that's why some of them want me out of the valley. But to be able to block that and let that person be who they are, to accept them as they are, to not return the energy that they're throwing. All these is a part of what people call Jedi training. When you start to see a lot of things happen at once, and the universe is throwing stuff at you left and right, bam, 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 and it's just doing all of that, you're like, whoa, stop, ground, realize what's taking place, and learn to be like bamboo, and bend with the wind instead of holding up some sort of resistance and falling down and breaking, cracking, but yielding to that energy, letting it pass by, letting it be what it is, and going about your own business. We have a responsibility to take care of this temple. And for thousands of years, mankind has developed ways of defending themselves, their families, their villages, their women from invading armies. This is timeless. It has happened over and over and over again to different societies, or different societies have done horrible things to other societies and other tribes over and over and over again. And just because we live in a world of high technology, of cell phones, you can call the police if there's some weird man creeping around your apartment and you're all alone at night and it's 11:30. Or, all these men that think that by having a piece by itself, that is you. No, that's a tool. That gun is not you. And that tool can run out of ammo. And there really aren't a whole lot of men in this country that really know and understand the art of reloading themselves. I certainly don't, but I have met people, and I respect them, that do know how to do this, and it's going to be needed in the future. But you cannot rely on firepower, no matter how large your caliber is. 50 caliber, sawed-off shotgun, 410 gauge, 45, Tech 9. All these things that people, worship. I see people worship their guns. It's like, oh, look at me. I got, oh, yeah. Oh, look at that. Oh, look at that. It's like an extension of the fucking penis. It's okay to be a gun owner. It's not what we're talking about. We're talking about reliance on that. That makes one dependent on a form of technology. And it is a form of technology. Guns have only been around for so long. The knowledge of gunpowder and how to use that and project that's been around a little bit longer than the modern day firearm. But we have to remember, just because we have all these tools around us, and you could apply this to, survival products and things like this, we have to, in our own body, be able to create something, be able to defend ourselves, be able to hunt, be able to do certain things, be able to gather water, be able to do things that be able to cultivate certain social skills to deal with unruly people. That's one of the things that I'm getting to deal with out here, is learning to, it is the classic example of turning the other cheek. And not battling with people that want to battle. We have to preserve our energy and our strength. Going back to the topic of all of this at hand. The mindful warrior. I'll talk more about that in another video. But I really want to encourage people to get their body moving, to take care of their body, mind, and spirit, and understand that, there's multiple ways of looking at something or a certain practice. And I know that since I've been what some people call a truther, other people want to call a new age freak, other people want to call a survivalist, everybody got their name for how they see out, so the videos that they watch, even though there's so many facets and spectrums to whatever the fuck I am, which is still in a process of evolution and becoming. We never stop growing. We never stop evolving. We never stop becoming. We never stop being somebody else than the person we were just the day prior. In all the years I've had all these interests, I have met very few mindful warriors that understand this. That understand that if we had to come together, people have to have certain skills in order to defend themselves if there's a violent threat. But we need to also understand that beyond this whole preparedness mentality of the spiritual aspects and the spiritual benefits that come from working your body and working with other people's energy. I have met very few men in my life that understand the importance of being able to practice certain drills where you're going back and forth, the person's striking and you're defending, you're blocking, etc., so on and so forth. That back and forth flow, it creates a rhythm. It creates some sort of a unity field. And when you're working with another partner, and I really encourage women that think that they're weak, that they need to be like Tyson, to be involved in this, to think again and look even closer at internal energy. Someone that's into yoga, someone that's by practicing a kick, for example, okay? By practicing something simple, by practicing body movements and things of that nature, you're getting your energy flowing. You're getting your ki flowing, okay? You're grounding yourself. It's helping to release that excessive energy that is coming in from the sun and many other factors. And I think that, this body-mind-spirit connection is linked to living longer, is linked to being happier, is linked to being healthier, including mentally, being able to have a greater clarity because there's oxygen moving through the body. It's very important for men, women, whatever, to be able to work with other people. There's an exercise called push hands, which is all about energy. There's an exercise called Chi Sao, which is borrowed from Wing Chun, which comes from Wing Chun, which deals with maintaining a sense of balance and sensitivity to your partner's, we'll say partner instead of opponent, to your partner's energy. And then there's Aikido. And I'm not going to talk about techniques at all in this video, because I'm going to make some videos later. They're going to go into techniques and some of the techniques that deal with defense, but also deal with harnessing that force or that field or that energy between your hands, which can help strengthen that aura, strengthen your field, increase your confidence, because that's what this is all about. Being confident in every endeavor, physically, mentally, spiritually. And so, there's a lot of books that have been written over the years about spirituality and martial arts. And I read them a lot of these books when I was 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. And then I developed other interests. But there was that time in my life when I was very young when I wanted to know what the ancients spoke of, how all this related. It was very interesting to me. History is very interesting to me. The present's very bizarre to me. The future even more so. But we have these creative forces that have been built into each one of us. And we need to get off Facebook if that's all we do. And we need to reach out to the universe and interact more with synchronicity, with the field of energy that surrounds us. To work with other like minds. Whether we're going to do yoga together, meditation, alternative media, have our own alternative media network, martial arts, a meetup, whatever. But this is a time for coming together with other people that know the truth. Facebook can never replace that. I know that we have gone to this point that seems like the point of no return, where some people on Facebook just can't be reached. They can't be pulled away from their computer. And I'm telling you, we need to only use this as a tool. Just like the firearm, it cannot be a replacement for life. It cannot be our sole form of activism. We have to remember, just because we have technology, we cannot let that replace our humanity. In whatever example it is. I want to thank you all for watching. And I want to remind everyone to turn into some of my amazing shows that I'm going to be hosting on American Freedom Radio Saturday nights, 8 o'clock to 10 o'clock Central Standard Time in the weeks to come. Stay tuned.